Hello, I'm Dominic Klemmer, a Managing Director and Partner from the Cologne office and a core member of BCG's Transform team. Today I'm welcoming Reshma Ramachandran. She's a seasoned transformation expert, having worked for ABB, Adecco and many other companies. Reshma, we know that 70% of transformations fail. What do you think are the key success factors for the ones that really work out?
That's a very good question. You know, as you rightly said, 70% of transformations fails, which is a massive number in that sense, considering that almost all of the Fortune 500 companies are today undergoing a transformation. So from both being a person who has led transformations and now being on the other side of the board where I have a perspective to see transformations differently, I would say there are three key critical success factors to any transformation. The first and foremost is the why. Why are we transforming? So every organization has the ambition to transform because, as I said, you know, you can't afford to be in the status quo, but you need to articulate the why are you transforming? And along with a strong why, there needs to be a very clear strategic direction. What's the direction you are actually undertaking to transform the organization? The second, I would say, with a strong why, needs a clear alignment within the leadership team. So when I say the leadership team, it's CEO minus one. The CEO needs to be 100% behind the transformation. You need to have the CEO minus one, 200% behind the transformation, and then engage with the top leaders. Maybe it's 1%, maybe it's 2% of your top leaders. Make sure that everybody sings the same tune. And the last, and probably not the least, is communicate, communicate, and communicate. There is literally no over-communication in any transformation.
You said that the CEO and the full leadership team needs to play a central role in any transformation. So how can it really become one team?
It's a very good question, and you know, my personal point of view is that in any transformation, any successful transformation, the real chief transformation officer is the CEO. And to come back to the question on how the tandem should be established and how a right and successful tandem works, is the CTO is always an extension of the CEO. So the articulation, the drumbeat, the governance, you know, making sure that the organization stays on the strategic direction chosen, the employee engagement, everything is orchestrated by the CTO. And that's the only way that strong tandem can be established.
What is your perspective about the leader journey? What do you mean with it? And what should be done to make it successful?
So you have the leader journey, you have the program journey, and you have the people journey, and it's a triage. All of these needs to come together for a transformation to be successful. So starting with the leader journey, why is the leader journey so important? You know, organizations do not transform in a big bang. It is actually a personal change that actually gets reflected as an organizational change. And the change always starts at the top with the leader. So that's why the leader journey is important. And how can we successfully engage in the leader journey is where leaders are personally committed to the change, where leaders are personally standing behind the why of the transformation, and where they're able to articulate that why from a personal perspective, and the storytelling becomes very important. It has to come from deep within.
What needs to be done to really ensure that it trickles down, that you have transparencies?
So this brings to the people journey part of the triage, and this is also where the diversity of thoughts is so important. So how can you actually unleash that human potential in terms of bringing in the innovation, bringing in a different perspective to problem solving? That is only through transparency. And that is why I'm a strong believer that you have to slice and dice the elephant, which would be the transformation, slice and dice the elephant into multiple pieces so that each person in the organization, each individual in the organization really understands what he or she can actually bring to the table. You know, problems are never solved in headquarters. Problems are actually solved, especially when you talk about customer problems. It's not the headquarters where the problems are solved. It's actually in the front line where the problems are solved, where you are actually seeing the problems and you can come up with creative solutions.
What's the role of digital, of AI for today's transformations?
Now, I think where we are extremely being disruptive as a world is around the artificial intelligence, machine learning, generative AI. So I do believe that digital and technology in that sense is a critical lever to transformation. And some of the transformations that we have seen in the recent past is actually how do you leverage the digital technologies to help your company or an organization actually deliver more value for the customers, more value for the greater good. Think about sustainability, for instance. You know, the whole technology has been able to give a completely different dimension to the sustainability solutions. Organizations that are on a transformation needs to look at it from a perspective of saying we are transforming and how can these technologies help us in taking the transformation to the next level. So, you know, again, going back 2 decades ago, if the lever of a transformation was cost out, if a lever of transformation was supply chain optimization, I think we need to look at it from a different lens and say, today the biggest lever we have on our hands is digital. So, in any transformation, make that lever or bring that lever to full life, and that way you can actually also deliver much more benefits on the transformational side.
Thank you very much, Reshma.
Thank you so much for having me, and let's continue to transform.